Hello, dear friends and family. Captain Starsky joins the chat together with Slavie. Hello, Slavie. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege, and generally, I've been planning to invite you to my channel for a very long time. Yeah, but unfortunately, something like something always in the way. So, my dear friends, very welcome to our tiny stream today. We will review a bunch of stuff, and we will also have a chat or coffee. I will have coffee instead of Slavy uh, because she confessed that she doesn't drink.
It's not me, it's my system. It's just my body declines caffeine. So I wish I could do it. I wish I would I tried so many times, and so many of my friends and family too. They tried to get me to like coffee, and I tried a bunch of different coffees, even with like bulletproof with butter, so like caffeine wouldn't hit me that hard. But none of it worked. I always get so like cracked out and awkward and clammy, and yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to survive without coffee. That would be something absolutely impossible. By the way, to our dear family there in the chat, can you please tell us what you do, just in case, and generally introduce yourself?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking to the chat. Yeah, I'm Slavie. I run a YouTube channel called Yaroshenko. I'm Ukrainian, born in Kharkiv, raised in Canada, and I've been living in California for 16 years. I came to Los Angeles, studied film and entertainment industry, and built my foundation in production. I love producing. I understand how media, attention, and narrative shape reality, and I also love to host. So before that, actually, I worked internationally as a model, living and working in Japan and Greece and Spain. So I've seen firsthand how global perception is created and sold. So that's exactly why I do this work. And right now, Ukraine is slipping out of the U.S. news cycle, not because the war is over, but because the world is really noisy. And Trump does something outrageous every single day. So new crises erupt and attention moves on. And that's what Russia relies on. So my mission is to pull Ukraine back into focus. And Ukraine is not a side story, it's the root story. Because when you follow the chaos, wars, instability, propaganda, and political dysfunction, it leads back to Russia, always.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much for beautiful introduction, and I can confirm that literally before our stream, I streamed about the Russian influence operations. My dear friends, if you missed that stream, please check it out after this one, and also don't forget to subscribe to Slavie. Her channel is in the title, in the description, everywhere. You will find it. Please do that. Because basically we are all doing the same thing. We are fighting against Russian disinformation. We're informing people on what is actually happening in Ukraine and beyond. And Silver Earth, hello. So good to see you in the chat there. So, first of all, you've been to Japan. Jesus, I have so many questions.
yes, I lived there for about 6 months.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a whole different world. I mean, it's a whole conversation in itself. But
Oh my God. We will talk about this 100% after our tiny news review, because we're gonna do that. Okay, let me see. I broke everything after today's stream for reasons I literally cannot explain. But let's switch to this one. We can see a beautiful firework in Primorsk. That is literally yesterday night, okay, because we didn't talk about it in the morning. So basically, that is literally some kind of harassment Russians are looking exactly the way they should look like there on the video. This one is actually absolutely crazy. So, Slavie, this one is Donetsk Oblast. You can see that this absolutely freaking insane web. That is fiber optic cables. Just so our dear family and friends could understand, that is the scale of saturation of this area with FPV drones using fiber optic cables. You can see that they are freaking everywhere, which of course make it on one hand just a bit easier to defend this area from infantry. It's not that easy to walk in that environment, but on the other hand, that is something absolutely insane. Remember, like World War One, people could see those crazy fields that would literally look like moon landscape craters and everything else, and that is literally reality of today. What are the craziest news that you've heard recently, Slavie?
I don't know if it's crazy so much, but that Ukrainians are saving horses that the orcs in their cavalry France into Ukraine, and well, they get rid of the enemy, and then but save the horses, and the horses are now taken care of in Ukraine. They're Ukrainian horses now, and so that's been really interesting story, of course. And yeah, Russians are running out of tanks, scooters, and now they're using animals. And Russians have always not been known for their exactly how they take care of animals. In fact, they target animals, they kill animals, they torture animals, and yeah. So Ukraine takes the horses, whatever. Actually, a couple of months ago, there was a camel that you see like Ukrainian defenders like walking in with just a camel holding it. Yeah, it was quite a scene. Wish I could find the video fast. But yeah, that's been kind of my interesting story that I've seen recently.
I don't like looking at what is happening in Ukraine on the battlefield. Yeah, like that situation is tough. I can tell. I had like just a few deployments, but generally, when you look at that, that is insane. That is literally like something from Warhammer. You know, like horses, donkeys, camels. I won't be surprised if we'll see like elephants brought from, I don't know, African countries by African mercenaries or something. And then we will see them in Ukrainian army because that is absolutely crazy. Um,
Maybe
Jeez.
perhaps because Russia has a big cat industry. They breed cats, so I'm sure once Russia is out of bullets, they'll send some lions or something.
I don't know. I imagine them literally. Next time we will see them using like spears, maybe like bronze swords or whatever. Because you remember 2022, we already saw a bunch of Russians armed with like those Mosin Nagant rifles that were produced like more than 100 years ago. Why? Jesus.
They'll be jousting. They'll bring the big sticks and joust.
Yeah. But we already saw them with sticks already, and that was also insane. Like the way, have you seen that video? Like Russians with
Which
the
one?
sticks.
No, I haven't, but I have heard that they have sticks.
I don't have it here, but there was literally this dude, you know, like lying down in the field with a stick, and it's people, of course, were saying that yes, he was there with the stick because he was like wounded and he used stick, you know, to help himself walk and stuff. But the dude was literally like lying down with the stick and like aiming, you know, the stick somewhere. That is.
Oh, I think I have seen it. I have. Yeah, I remember.
That's insane. But okay, let's return to something. Let's return
Well,
to
now
something.
they're also they're using cannon, like African men. They're using that as cannon fodder. So because Russia is out of men, and they're tricking these men from Africa, that, you know, come to Russia, they will pay you good money, you'll be working security or in grocery store or cleaner, but we'll pay you good money. And then they come to Russia to get this money, and then they get like a gun to their head pointed, like, no, you're going to the front. And then they
Yeah,
get sent to the front. And then actually Ukraine has been interviewing some of these guys, because they managed to run away from Russian front lines, and Ukraine took them in and interviewed. And yeah, that's most of their story, is they get kidnapped by Russia to be cannon
uh,
fodder.
this is what is called human trafficking, actually, because there were
Yeah.
so many. For example, in those African countries, and unfortunately, I don't remember exactly, but there were a few countries where it was actually reported that men and women were brought to Russia. They were promised that they would be either studying or working, and then they were tricked. For example, women would be sent to that Shahid factory in Alabuga, where they would assemble Russian drones, and men would be sent straight to the front lines. Again, there's so many videos of those mercenaries from poor African countries, and that is something absolutely, absolutely crazy, because it's very, very easy to trick somebody coming from a developing or a poor country, somebody struggling financially, which again tells a lot about how cunning and how disgusting Russians are. By the way, Slavie, let me see. Yeah, Broadcast Cat says, can you ask Slavie to start her stream? I think we should probably like cancel that one or start it, because it doesn't start. Guys, we were supposed to kind of stream today, but because I'm stupid and I didn't prepare the software, we're not restreaming. So
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna send you, so whoever goes in there, I'm gonna send them a link so they'll be redirected here. But
okay, thanks.
I'm gonna keep it up for now.
All right. Okay, so let's return to our updates. Today, actually, quite a few very, very interesting things happened. First of all, have you seen this one? This one is, I would actually characterize this one as Russian cringe. That one came from Liman direction. In Russian world, everything is very stable. Oops. I don't know what happened. Directed by Robert Wade, you know. It happens. According to... I didn't see that coming, actually.
There's another video I saw recently, and these Russians, they have their own ground drones now as well, and they're so excited. They have like, it looks like Wally, right? And they're so excited. They have it going. It's going, and then boom, Ukraine takes it out. They're so sad, but
Yeah, I remember that one. They brought this drone, and this drone would probably cost, I don't know, like the dude would probably give his own kids and wife to like eternal slavery, sell his kidney and like a quarter of his liver. Not all, of course, because you know they enjoy alcohol and stuff. And that freaking drone literally uh, gets disembarked from the vehicle, drives like 5 meters and gets obliterated. That was good. I'm not sure. Not as good as this one, but yeah, still. Oh,
That guy was like on tobogganing, right? Like tubing on something.
yeah, something like that. Another video, it reminded me when you probably saw that as well, like when they show their new electronic warfare system. It was earlier this summer, like, look at this stuff, and there's like this stuff. They're like, look at that came to us straight from Russia. Now we will laugh. Like literally 5 seconds later, he shows like burning car, everything's destroyed. Oh my god, that's just so good. I like watching this stuff, because sometimes we all need a good laugh. Slavia, did you hear about Kadyrov today?
Is he dead?
Unfortunately, no.
No.
Unfortunately.
Die already. I mean, he's what, his liver is giving out. He's been dying for like months now.
Well, we know that it's hard to tell, like, if he's dead or alive until he starts moving, but we have even better update. So today, Adam Kadyrov, the dude that is widely known in the Terrorist Federation as his very, very old son, Adam Kadyrov, you probably remember when Putin went to this Institute of Russian Spetsnaz in Grozny. Adam Kadyrov, that kind of a bit overweight dude wearing all that gear, was like running around, looked very, very cringy. He pretended he was like shooting like a real Spetsnaz. So today he was driving his car down the road there somewhere in Chechnya with that huge escort, and according to actually authoritative media outlets, he got into a car accident. He was driving first, he was behind the wheel, and he crashed into into a fence somewhere there on the road. According to the most recent information, that dude, oh my god, Leave says, I remember his Gucci military boots. I know what you're talking about. I remember those as well. According to the Russian media outlets and Russian sources, he was brought in a heavy state, meaning that he was injured real bad, but not enough. He was brought to the Chechen, to the hospital in Grozny, and from there he was brought to an aircraft and delivered straight to Moscow. I believe a lot of people currently, tracking the aircraft and praying so much. I am not like a big believer myself. I will pray too.
Do you guys know this meme when the guy is, can you see it?
Yeah.
He's poking Kadyrov with a stick. Die already.
Oh my god. Drunk driving, Kadyrov driving, that's literally the only reason it happened, I think. But you know what they say, bad things don't always happen to good people. Sometimes it's like the other way around. Slavie, do you believe in karma?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, karma is a biatch and it works. It actually does. Wait, 2 aircraft. Guess the other one was for the UFC guy. I bet they were just like, why not? Okay, let's check some other updates, because yes, it was confirmed by Russians that yes, it was Adam. I prayed to all the divine I don't know, creatures I know, but yes, unfortunately it was Adam, and unfortunately he didn't become better, because otherwise, like, I think every faithful Christian should actually pray about this. We should pray for Russians to become better. They are very good when they're good. So yeah, it was confirmed that Adam was crashed, and of course they closed all the traffic in the area. There were like 500-kilometer traffic jam. They didn't care because Adam, crashed. Whatever. Uh, Germany will allocate 60 million euro to support the Ukrainian power grid in the winter. Specifically, we're talking about improving the heating system, and specifically in the frontline regions. Slavie, do you have any friends in Kiev, by the way?
I do, yeah, I have family there.
What are they saying
It's
currently?
um they're surviving. They have like generator, like they've set up, but I mean it's still cold, and it's what, -20 right now
Yeah.
temperatures. Yeah, that's unbelievable. I did see some people have a rave outside to keep warm with some hot wine. So that was really, I mean, cool to see how resilient Ukrainians are. But we have to keep Ukrainians right now on our minds, because it's it's a uh, it's a humane disaster right now. What's happening in Ukraine? Um, Complete another genocide, what Russia is doing, and this is part of it, is to take away human conditions where Ukrainians can survive, and yeah, that's electricity.
Yeah, I completely agree on that. And currently, DW Phillips, my good friend from the United States, is uh, raising funds to bring generators to Ukrainians, specifically to people like citizens of Kiev, that are currently having zero electricity, zero heating, things like that. Um, so let's switch to some really cringy updates. Like this one is very, very cool. Denmark is planning to rename Greenland to Epstein Island, so Trump would stop talking about it. What's your take on Greenland, Slavie?
I've been going back and forth, but what Trump is doing and what he wants is not the way to get it, obviously. um, he just he wants sovereignty of Greenland. He wants it all. He wants to own it because he wants to build like data centers, and his billionaire buddies. Um, I always forget the guy. And not Elon Musk. The other guy.
Branson,
No, no. Branson is great. He's good. He's pro Ukraine. Um, sorry, but another guy, he wants to build these like freedom centers, freedom cities, and and get the rare earth minerals. But you know what's insane to me? How we're saying like, oh yeah, just ice in Greenland is melting, that's why Trump wants it. But like, are we done trying to not to melt the ice? Like, that's it? Like, it's just wild to me how it's just so normal to say, yeah, the ice is melting, so Trump just wants the rare earth minerals. Like, are we done? Climate change is, that's it, we're gonna die. um but I don't know, I hope Trump doesn't invade Greenland, because it'd be very bad, obviously. Um, it would be because the United States actually wrote the laws, these international laws, and a bunch of it is in NATO that United States wrote. So it would be America going against its own laws. I don't know. Yeah, I hope they figure it out and make some kind of deal. Um, America already sorry, America already has a lot of bases in Greenland. So, and they do have contracts as well to move in, and they can do business there, and they already have military there. It just makes no sense, except Trump just wants to move in and do whatever he wants. However, he does have a point. It's for the security and from Russia and China, because they especially China, they do want to get those rare earth minerals. Russia doesn't have any power right now. They won't. But for security, I do understand that, and I'm glad that Europe has moved in, and a bunch of European Union countries have sent uh, troops there just to show Trump that, like, listen, we're taking care of this. Don't worry, we don't need America to invade. Um, but we'll see what happens. I really hope Europeans will be able to de-escalate the situation with Trump.
Yeah, we talked about this on the one of the previous streams regarding the. I got. Where was that? Regarding the Greenland and like the intentions to protect it, because like if we take a look at Greenland, that is literally chases. Where is it? That is literally like 600 nautical miles from Canada, not even from the United States. But if we take a look at Havana with like Russian nuclear submarines docked here all the time because they have those mutual military exercises and stuff, that is literally 90 miles from Florida, and at the same time, they don't talk much about this threat. Greenland, not many even houses can be built there due to the landscape and due to the weather. So I don't know. To me, all this literally looks like. Tell me if you think in the same direction, okay? If Trump Let's imagine if Trump invades Greenland, of course, it will be the end of NATO. And we hear constantly all far left, all far right forces repeating the same pro-Russian narrative over and over again, that we should literally get rid of NATO because it's bad, it's obsolete, it's offensive and stuff like that, which of course we all understand that that is literally Russian narratives, that all that comes from Kremlin, straight from Moscow. If Trump wants so much to destroy NATO, which he, by the way, himself called obsolete in like 2016, what does it tell you personally?
He's doing Putin's bidding, of course, if that's the main goal. It's as simple as that. All their phone calls that they do, I mean, it's probably Putin feeding him that, because Putin, all he wants is, I mean, he wanted Ukraine, but the next thing is to break up NATO. And the best way to do it, the only card that Putin has, is manipulating Trump.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but
And
it is a theory right now. We don't know this, but it could be. I think it would be an extremely far stretch for Trump to actually go through with this and attack NATO.
I
He
agree on
might
that.
threaten, he talks a lot, but actually today there's another news came out, and it's about Trump's golden dome that he wants to build. And yeah, Greenland is vital for this golden dome. It's a missile defense system. It's like a multi-layered shield against like ballistic and hypersonic and cruise missiles. And so that's it was revealed uh, yesterday or earlier today. So that Greenland, we have to have Greenland. But again, we have bases there. United States has bases already, and I'm sure it can build more if they want. So we don't need to take Greenland by force at all. And
Absolutely.
today also Trump as well. He raised again. He's going after NATO to pay up to 5%. And usually you don't really go after and say pay up to NATO and then go invade them right after you get what you want.
Yeah, I agree on that. Ryan Macbeth, for example, today or yesterday made a video about that. He said that literally disassembly of NATO doesn't make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Um, of course, if he was Trump. But on the other hand, what else can we expect? All right. And they're not speaking there in the White House, like in a peaceful manner. They say, like, we're going to have Greenland no matter what, like if you're not going to sell it to us or whatever, then we're going to have it no matter what. And in my personal opinion, that's very, very dangerous. It's like, I don't really believe in conspiracies because conspiracies, they suck, but we love them. But on the other hand, if somebody acts like literally a guy that Putin was dreaming about, all right, the guy who does whatever benefits Kremlin, if it's disruption of NATO, if it's like pressing Ukraine and stuff like that. It's like, I go to a gas station and literally I take a bunch of like chocolate bars, all right, and put it in my pocket, and they go like, why are you stealing? No, I'm not stealing, I'm just, I just put it in my pocket because I like holding it, close to my body and stuff, like whatever crazy reason I make up, but that's what I do if I want to have it. Same stuff with Donald Trump, who actually does everything that a Russian asset would do on his place. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. And actually, I'm gonna add to this theory because Trump did today. He did something that underlines this theory, and it's he threatened tariffs on any nation that's opposing this Greenland acquisition. And yeah, so excuse me. So whoever is going against United States invading Greenland, they're gonna get even more tariffs slapped onto that.
How crazy is that? Like, is this the way you talk to your allies? Like, I just don't know. In my like naive imagination, partnership, collective security, all that stuff, it looks absolutely different. Maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I don't understand something, but like it's not the way it's supposed to be. Anyways, let's talk a bit about something good, because in Serpukhov, Podmoskovia, Jesus Christ, a Russian substation is smoking for some reason, and Russians are very, very mad and upset about this. They're basically saying, how can you do that, evil Ukraine? People in Russia are freezing and don't have electricity. You are bad, you are terrorists. How crazy is that? Also, it is reported that that's again Serpukhov, that comes from the Russian monitoring channels. They say that half city is without electricity in such frost. It's so cold there, and people probably don't even understand what karma actually means and how exactly it works. I don't know. What would you say, Slavie, to people who say like Ukrainians, you cannot do that, you cannot hitting power stations and stuff like that because poor Russian people will freeze?
There is no moral equivalence to what Russia is doing to Ukraine and what Ukraine is simply defending. And Ukraine isn't hitting civilians. Russia is hitting civilians. That's what I'm saying. There's no moral equivalence. Russia invaded. They launched a genocide on Ukrainian people, and Ukraine is simply defending itself. And Ukrainians aren't hitting. They're not targeting civil. Actually, so many operations that Ukrainians did, they did them so carefully that no Russian civilians were hurt in so many of these. So Russia crying wolf and crying victim all the time, and whoever supports and cries for them, their supporters, there's something wrong with you if you don't understand this concept.
Yeah, I absolutely agree on that. And by the way, one of the biggest confirmations, one of the biggest proofs that the International Red Cross are actually, how to say it without cursing, I don't even know. Recently, they stated that actually whatever Russia does to Ukraine, that is almost a direct quote. They said that whatever Russia does to Ukraine in terms of striking the infrastructure, striking houses, and things like that, that is actually a completely symmetric response to what Ukraine does to Russian civilians. How do you like that?
I mean, Red Cross is kind of a branch of Russian government at this point. So they lie for Russia.
Yeah.
Sadly, but yeah.
I know what the Red Cross did in Ukraine because I did my tattoos like not far from the place where they have their main office in Kyiv. And I know exactly what they were busy with all this time since 2022. Like, I can talk a lot about that, of course. Maybe next time. So, we have some good news. Russia was behind the attempted arson attacks in Lithuania. Lithuania accused Russia in the arson attack of the factory that provides equipment to the armed forces of Ukraine. According to Reuters, 6 citizens of Spain, Colombia, Cuba, Terrorist Federation, and Belarus were arrested for this attempt to set this factory on fire in 2024. And this specific factory was providing Ukrainian armed forces with radio scanners, according to the Lithuanian prosecutor. The terrorists acted according to the Russian orders that came from Russian GRU, the Russian military intelligence, the one that we talked about today. And they received between 5,000 and 10,000 euro for this crime. Each of them may face around 15 years behind bars, and I think that it's very, very good. That is the GRU. Slavie, do you remember the Salisbury incident? The Salisbury, sorry, not incident, but the terrorist attack in Salisbury?
No.
It's like when 2 Russian degenerates literally arrived to the UK with Novichok. They wanted to kill the Skripal, the former FSB agent who went to the UK with his family. They brought combat chemicals and they poisoned that family, and then they poisoned a bunch of other people. And then they were literally exposed within the next 5 hours because they were just so stupid. Because GRU-GSH, like if you compare them, for example, to FSB, to SVR, those are the dudes who collect intelligence, they recruit spies, they send spies and stuff like that. GRU-GSH are literally like orcs. Whatever you imagine about orcs, you know, like the brain the size of like walnut. That's basically them, and they were exposed very, very fast. They were later invited to Margarita Simonyan's TV channel. They were sitting together, literally holding hands and saying that they just went to Salisbury to check out the local churches. That was freaking insane. But we have even more insane news, and unfortunately this one is not that funny. So according to today's updates from Iran, while the internet was down, 59 arrested protesters were hanged, which is something absolutely crazy. And I actually heard the updates, the rumors actually, that they arrested several hundreds of protesters and wanted to execute them. And we couldn't find any updates on that because there is literally no internet. But that's exactly what happened. And immediately after that, we received a response from Donald Trump. It's literally there. There on your screen, so you could read it. Okay, I will read it for you, my friends. I greatly respect the fact that all scheduled hangings, which were to take place yesterday, over 800 of them, have been cancelled by the leadership of Iran. Thank you so much, dear bloody murderer Khamenei. He didn't say that, but I think you can read that between the lines. What's your thoughts?
I know whoever's behind this, it's probably is not Trump, but United States did back out from striking Iran. So maybe that could have been a deal that was made. United States doesn't strike and you don't hang civilians. Of course, it's horrible what's happening, and I was really hoping that this would be the time that Iranian people would take over and get rid of these mullahs, because they're, I mean, this Ayatollah guy, he's a really bad guy. Like, let's put it this way. And I mean, you guys can see he's hanging people, civilians, just for dressing wrong. And yeah, I know Ukraine was actually doing some kind of operation in Iran as well, Budanov said, to help the people. But from what I understand, they don't really have a leader or the opposition that they need to make this happen. And not to say they definitely have the will, and very, very brave people. But yeah, that's what I gotta say on that.
What's your anticipation generally from what we can see nowadays in the news? Do you think that they will succeed?
I hope so, but I am seeing that the protesting already has died down. But as I said, from what I can understand, they don't really have like a leader or a kind of leadership that's okay. Like, you guys need to go there, that are strategic and to do a coup. And but I mean, I hope so. But maybe Ukraine, that's why Ukraine is there. Maybe they'll help Ukrainian intelligence.
I don't know. Like in Ukraine, we had a different situation because Well, generally, you can confirm that Ukrainians are very good at self-organizing. Like, generally,
Yeah.
we don't really like authorities. We like to do everything ourselves, and which is both like our biggest advantage and a curse at all times. And we don't really. During the Revolution of Dignity, there were like 3, 5 leaders, and they didn't do much. Like, we would tell them what to do, and they would basically do that. Maybe like that is something that Iranians should acquire from us, like that aspect, that experience. But from what I can see, for example, based on what is going on there, I think Ayatollah went too far, because so many people were shot. People are currently absolutely terrified there. I receive like very, very few messages from that area, and I know that people are very, very scared because the guards literally come into the houses, they shoot people. A person, like a friend of friend, okay, was killed because he just went outside, like, to buy potato, and he was shot because they just attack people on the streets without any possible reason. And that is absolutely crazy. But on the other hand, they have like 25,000 armed guards that have arms. They not like they have tanks or stuff like that, but they have arms. All right, they're like punishing force. And 25,000, that's actually a lot. That is like 7, 8 brigades in military terms. That is a lot. So I have no idea what kind of force must be there to literally take over like that whole number of guards in Iran. I literally hope that they will actually get assistance. Again, they have Kurds. Kurds are armed. They are very brave, but there's few of them though, and Iranians respect them very, very much because they're like very friendly, very open. But at the same time, whenever there is a threat to like freedom and stuff like that, dignity, they always take arms and they're always ready to fight. But unfortunately, they don't have so many brave Kurds. In Iran, there's only like one city, and it's very hard to understand whether they will be able to do something. But I'm actually looking forward to seeing, this regime finally collapsing. Just like,
I hope United States intervenes and helps. This is one of those good things that's good for humanity that Trump should do. Instead of focusing on Greenland, do something useful again. Um, like what he did with Maduro. That I actually support that. So you should do with Ayatollah. Like, quit focusing on something that's is he like Trump focuses on like weak things, that things he knows he can win, although probably not Greenland, but like, militarily wise, because Maduro, that was easy. It was a easy win, and he waited for a long time, Trump, to actually do this. And I understand like there's also prep for the operation and stuff, but he goes after weak targets. And I hope he goes after Ayatollah and the regime because they're very weak right now. They're already thinking of running to Russia. I'm sure that's already happening, if anything. Because at this point, Ayatollah, he's a dead man walking. It makes no sense for him to even stay in Iran. I mean, he crashed. What's the money called in Iran?
Real.
Yes. It went to zero. I mean, it's insane what he did. I'm telling you, it's he's a dead man walking, even like in his own other mullahs.
Yeah, I agree on that. Altruistic Viking asks, what's up with Don Don Jr.? So, the answer to that, my friend, is he promised to bring Zelensky to Moscow. He promised that to Putin, but he didn't make it. Something went wrong on his way to Ukraine, apparently. I have no idea. Yeah, so returning to good news, my friends. On your screens, you can actually observe the beautiful Moscow Oblast, the town of Voskresensk. That yellow stuff, all right, like that, all that smoke and whatever, all that goodness, all of that is coming from Voskresensky factory where they kind of produce fertilizer. No, we are not talking about like Russian maternity hospital where they're born. Different type of fertilizer, like the chemical ones. So according to the Russians, again, something happened. I don't know, either karma or like missile of happiness. And they are nagging about the smell in the air. That stuff actually looks impressive. I can tell you that. That is something that will make my day. So, according to the reports, how to translate sirchana kislota? Jesus Christ. Sulfuric acid.
Sulfur. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
sulfur.
yeah. Sulfur acid facility was improved because Russians don't build good chemical facilities. Ukrainians know how to do it better, and that is why good Ukrainians send a bunch of drones to actually improve it. And there we have
Guys,
some.
let me describe what kind of smell is coming from that. It's like imagine probably like if you had like a million bad eggs, if not more. I'm sure that's a huge explosion. That's the smell, the stench that's happening in Russia right now, which isn't far off. But
I will try to convert it to like things I know. So it's like either 1 million bad eggs or like 1 jar of Russian shea. I think that is something, something equal. Yeah. Generally, Slavie, what kind of people would call their national food, their national dish, shea? Like,
like, Russia.
I don't know. Yeah, so we have some footage from that area. Are they saying something? They kind of don't, but that to me looks like, I don't know, like Silent Hill just a bit. Just a couple of seconds and you will see, I don't know, like pyramid heads, walking out of a fog. Maybe some, I don't know, like local alcoholic Uncle Valera or whatever. But to me, that looks absolutely inspiring. Yeah. People are nagging, and every time something like that happens in look, they are celebrating like in this window you can see like in the bottom left corner.
Oh my
Like
God.
everybody is like panicking. Those guys are like, yay, happy new year. So whenever such things happen on the territory of the terrorist federation, my response is always the same: blame Putin. Because
Yeah.
literally there's no one else to blame for that. Literally blame Putin. Whatever is happening there. Yeah, and there's this beautiful smog. I suppose that is actually a karma for Kakhovka Dam, in my personal opinion.
Really, I would wish more on Russia for as a retreat for Kakhovka Dam. That was pretty a huge ecocide disaster.
Yeah. I think that one is either karma for like Kakhovka Dam or maybe karma for like attacking the Chernobyl nuclear power plant with their Shahed drone. Either
I don't
or.
know. I kind of wish karma would be a little bigger. It's like something like a big earthquake that would swallow Russia whole, like natural disaster. That would be.
That'd be nice. Do you know that joke? So two fishermen are catching fish and they both catch a golden fish, all right? And the golden fish says, guys, I will fulfill a wish for each, all right? Just don't kill me. And one of the guys is he's a farmer, and he says, "Listen, I have those bugs. I'm fed up with those bugs. Please help me. Please do something." And the golden fish gives him like a tiny bug and says, "Take this one." And he's like, "What do I do with this bug?" And the fish is like, "You just release the bug on your field. This tiny bug will eat all other bugs and then will die from starvation." The farmer's like, "Wow, cool, thank you. That's a cool solution." And she asks the second guy, like, "What do you want from me?" And the second guy is Ukrainian. And he's like, "Golden fish, I have a question. Do you have like this tiny, tiny Russian?"
Oh my gosh. That's a good one. I was at, you know what, when I was when I was like thinking about the stream today, I was like, I should ask Starsky what's his like favorite joke is, or like Ukrainian joke. So
Oh my God, I know so many of them, but majority of them are, like they come from the army. There's like 50% cursing, and the rest is like a joke.
should we do like a beep beep?
Do I have it? I have like, my God, I only have this one. I think it won't work. Anyways. Okay, let's see what else do we have, because we still have something very, very cool. According to the Times, that actually published their tiny research, Ukrainians killed 27 Russian soldiers for every Ukrainian soldier lost in Kupiansk. Again, we all remember the Russian disinformation, literally the level of Russian, bragging about taking Kupiansk. They wanted to invite all sorts of like journalists, all sorts of media outlets to Pokrovsk, to Kupiansk, to show them the real situation on the ground. In the end, they found themselves absolutely freaking surrounded in Kupiansk. They tried to withdraw, they were cut from the rest of their troops and eventually eliminated. I know that there's still few of Russians without water, without supplies, are expecting to become better generally. And I understand why it takes so much time for Ukrainians. Like they are there, Russians don't want to evacuate them, and we don't want to eliminate them like fast, even though we can. And the reason for that is because we need the exchange fund, all right? So we need Russians. We know that eventually they will give up. If no, then we will see them fertilizing Ukrainian sunflower fields. So Russians are actually very, very mad about this. So the Times posted their report on Kupiansk. Russians are screaming in the social media. Literally, I was reading that stuff today. That is absolutely freaking insane. So, according to the British intelligence, the correlation between lost Ukrainians and lost Russians is 1 to 27. How crazy is that? Also, just a couple of days ago, we talked about several terrorists that were arrested in Germany because they planned to send bombs via post, via Nova Posta, to Ukraine. And basically, they sent several packages equipped with GPS trackers so they could track the road from Germany to Ukraine. And it was kind of successful, but they did like a test run, so those were bombs, but without explosives, right? And they got arrested. There were two dudes in Germany, one dude in Switzerland. He got extradited. And now we have a similar situation already in Poland. So Ukrainian government and Polish law enforcement services arrested four technically Ukrainians and one Russian that attempted to organize another sabotage, and they were basically recruited by the FSB to send new explosive parcels to the United Kingdom, United States, Canada, and other countries. According to the Polish government, in case they are convicted, all right, they will face life. And according to the spokesman for the external ministry, my God, Ministry of External Affairs of Ukraine, he reported to Reuters that all those terrorists, they were identified and captured in close cooperation between Polish law enforcement and Ukrainian government. I want to ask you this. You live in the United States. Do Americans generally recognize Russia as a threat to the United States? Do they still recognize Russia as their main and biggest adversary, or priorities changed after Trump became president?
I would say yes, they still recognize Russia as a threat. Is it the first threat for most Americans? No, but I mean, there's a lot of problems here at home, so they don't generally think about Ukraine and Russia. And, I think it's more of our own government that's a threat that many Americans think um, of being, since they're shooting people on the street, the government. But I would say even Republicans, there's more Republicans that support Ukraine now than in the beginning of the invasion in 2022. I, in real life, haven't met anyone who told me to my face that no, I support Russia. That's insane. And Americans are, it's in DNA to be enemies with Russia. That's just how it always was. And Republicans, like the conservatives, like Reagan Republicans and all those guys, they're not in power now, but they understand very well that Russia is a threat and must be defeated. Um, and the way to do it is to help Ukraine. And I mean, if you're saying, going around and saying you support Russia and Putin, you're not okay. As I always say, there's only three types of people that support Russia. One are the criminals, like the pedophiles, um, and then second one is extremely really dumb people, and then three, it's all of the above. That's it. No one else. So yeah, And a lot of the traffic, what it seems online, that Russia has a lot of support. They're all bots, or they get paid. They're trolls, and Russia is pushing it this way. So it seems like Russia has support, but in reality, I mean, people who have two brain cells wouldn't support Russia
Yeah, I agree on
that
that.
much.
According to statistics, Putin is only supported by like 10%.
8%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's very important to remember because we talked about the influence operations of different Russian agents in the United States. They are not interested in having leverage specifically, for example, on Republicans or specifically on far left organizations, anti-fascists and stuff like that. They are interested to sow discord in the American society, to destroy it within. Literally, that is their primary goal. It was always like that since like 1965. Nothing changed in 2026. Sparker says people were cool with Russia before Putin the prick, but my friend, it was like 26 years ago. Like whole generations already changed. There are people who actually were born under Putin and already managed to die under Putin. Putin was there freaking always. And that's of course a tragedy. But on the other hand, I think Russians deserve all that. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about people who actually have guts and have clear understanding of what is happening. This is ex-Prime Minister of Finland, Sanna Marin, based as fact. All right. And that is absolutely based, my friends. Like that is something that oh my god, that is something that we should all keep in mind. Oh my god, it was super quiet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was just me. I was like, I can't hear it.
Okay, let me see if I can change that.
Will end, Ukrainians win. I don't think that there's any other choice. If Russia would win the war, then we would only see decades of this kind of behavior ahead of us. And we have to send a message that is opposite, that Russia will lose. It will lose the war. Ukraine will push Russia back to its own territory, and that also means Crimea. It means that Ukraine will be whole again, and we together have to make sure that this will become reality.
It's a great and absolutely conscious position, in my personal opinion. Again, that is ex-Prime Minister of Finland. Of course, there are a lot of people outside Ukraine, inside Ukraine as well. A lot of people demoralized with, that Russian propaganda that Ukraine will never take its territories back and stuff like that. What do you think about when you hear, arguments like that? That actually Ukraine is losing the war, Ukraine is losing territory, it won't take back Crimea and Donbass, and basically Ukraine should, give up part of its land in order to save itself.
I mean, Russia and Russian supporters, they start crying more that Ukraine must give up when they're losing. And let me tell you, they're losing bad right now. I mean, all their support, like Venezuela, um, Iran, is crashing. And internally, I mean, on the front line, they're losing, was it 36,000 of people, of orcs a month? That's insane. And that's not sustainable for Putin. That's why he's trying to get like African men in there and like others other than Russian, but still, even that's not sustainable. And also, I mean, Russia became China's, I mean, puppet. We also have bad news for Russia coming in today from China. Um, that there was a suspension of all the electronic exports called electricity purchases from Russia. And it fully stopped importing the electricity from Russia, and because they have their own. China, I mean, they're building insane I don't know, factories. And but yeah, Russia just keeps getting bad news, and they start crying more that they're winning when they're losing miserably. So I'd watch out for campaigns like that when Russia is winning and Ukraine should give up. Also, that's when Putin, he also knows, and that's when he calls Trump and manipulates Trump to tell Zelensky to give up. Um, just yesterday, we got another flip flop from Trump. Surprise, surprise. Now he is saying that Zelensky is in a way for peace. Again, so we're just going in circles doing this, but yeah, I guess Putin called.
Yeah.
But,
As Dr. Gardas yesterday said in his interview, he said Donald Trump is not the powerful man, is not the most powerful man. The most powerful man is the man who talked to Donald Trump last.
yes, that's great. I'd have to agree with it.
Yeah, like I don't know what else to say. But on the other hand, why such things happen? Such things happen to people who don't have moral compass. Because if you have moral compass, you understand what is good, what is bad. I asked, I was like 12 years old, right? I asked my grandma how to understand literally what is good, what is bad. My grandma looked at me as if I was like an idiot, which I probably was. She said, dude, you have your eyes to see, you have your ears to listen, all right? And you have your tiny brain to understand. That's basically it. Okay, and when people don't have moral compass, that's what we see. I cannot imagine, literally, I cannot imagine a person who would have at least a tiny, tiny bit of respect to things like international law, accusing and blaming Ukraine for being invaded. Or talking about, like, literally capturing a foreign territory, like Greenland, for example. I cannot even imagine that. In case this person literally has some sort of respect to international law, to law generally, that is something absolutely insane. And not a single like nationalist idea, nationalist views, America first, can justify it, in my personal opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. And we heard it from Trump that the only thing that can stop him from doing anything is his morals. We're all fucked because where are they? But I wanted to ask you, do you think Putin has compromise on Trump? That's why Trump is doing all these things, especially when Putin calls? or Alaska, for example?
Conspiracy time. So first of all, I think that it's possible. We don't have like any proof at all, but considering how Russian FSB actually works, how it operates, and considering the fact that Donald Trump has been to Soviet Union in like 1987, I think they can actually have something like that. Again, we know that Jeffrey Epstein communicated to Russians through Churkin. He wanted to get closer to Sergei Lavrov because he wanted to tell Russians how to talk with Trump, how to find leverage to Trump. It was 2016, 17, 19, those years. We can see that literally from his emails. Everyone can access them. And if he talked to Russians and tried to help them find leverage on Trump, basically we can see that it worked. In 2026, we can see that Russians actually have this leverage, but what sort of...
We also know that Putin knows who Baba is, most likely.
Yeah, I guess. But we can talk about conspiracies a lot. I don't really like talking about them because I forgot my tinfoil hat in the different room. But based on how Russians operate, based on all those things that actually come from America's and world's probably most notorious sexual predator, and some of the dirtiest criminal in our history, who actually provided Russians with consultations on how to talk to Donald Trump, how to find approach, how to find leverage on him. I believe that they actually can have something. On the other hand, though, there is a much easier way to find leverage on Donald Trump. Look at his airplane, for example, from Qatar, or look at that amazing portrait that Putin sent to Donald Trump straight from Moscow, portraying the American president, with his bleeding ear, and stuff like that. Like that stuff can actually also, help find leverage on Donald Trump, like Nobel Prize or whatever. Because that's what we see nowadays. Take a look at all the politicians coming to the White House, all right, coming to see Donald Trump. I'm talking Mark Rutte, I'm talking other politicians, Mr. Starmer and everybody else. They go there literally to kiss his rear, and I understand why they do that. Because they understand that this is the only approach. They understand that this is the way you talk to American president currently, all right, it may be different in like several years, but currently this is the way to talk to him. And they are diplomats. I understand why they do that, all right, because if they kiss his ass, to them nothing will change, all right. Their dignity will not be like demolished instantly. Like they're diplomats, they do it all the time, all right. It's their job, it's their profession, and I understand why they do it. But
I'm curious. We always say like we don't appease Putin, we shouldn't appease a dictator. Why aren't politicians using that same tactic towards Trump? Like, I get it, the United States is the most powerful country, but European leaders, they have leverage as well over United States. There's a lot of things that they can do that would, and it's not like United States is doing anything much for Europe right now, in fact, causing problems. So perhaps appeasement is not the way, because look how it's been going. All these European leaders, they come to Trump, they kiss his ass, and what do we get in return? An invasion, possible invasion, you know?
Maybe they should
So
do it
maybe
more often.
it's not working. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm
Okay,
no politician or diplomat, but it just seems like whatever they're doing is not exactly working. Maybe it will in the time it works, like to call him daddy. When Mark Rutte called him daddy, that was nice for like an hour, and that was it.
oh my god, that was so good. Dear friends and family there in the chat, please let us know how many times should European politicians kiss Donald Trump's ass, because maybe we just don't understand something. But yeah, Mark Rutte literally made my day. That was amazing. So, returning to your question, I think that generally they probably understand that that is exactly what they're supposed to do. Okay, they understand that if they stop appeasing Donald Trump, most probably that will cause different freaking consequences. Maybe he will get abused, and he will go and cry on his golf field and, or I don't know, drink in Mar-a-Lago for the whole night and then say, all right, Putin, let's just unite our efforts or stuff. Because European leaders want to keep Trump in their orbit, all right? So they understand that it doesn't matter what sort of man this man is, but they need to keep him in their orbit because there is no other way. In the meantime, they will try to do something to make Europe a bit stronger and stuff, so it can at least defend at least part of itself against the Russian invasion that is coming before the end of the decade, according to different intelligence agencies. That's only my opinion. They found the way of least resistance, let's call it this way, I think.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, look at who Trump really likes. Putin. He likes the dictators. And I'm sure they tell Trump no, and he doesn't complain about them. So, I don't know. It's probably a far stretch to try it, but I mean, how do you stop a bully? And Trump is a bully. He's bullying everyone. So how do you stop a bully?
Well, just as a theory, all right? Just as a theory. According to the new national strategy that was published by this White House, they specifically said that they will be cooperating with patriotic parties from around the world, which means like Единая Россия, the Putin's party, which means AfD in Germany, which means all those beautiful, amazing far-right guys from other countries, Jobbik and stuff like that. Maybe like the best way, all right, the best way for those politicians would be literally like, I don't know, wear like those like hats,
KKK hats.
something like that. Yeah, at least for a while, and come to Trump and say like, we are the most right guys in the world. You will not find anybody righter than us. All right, and Trump will be just applauding and celebrating, because they should actually position themselves as far right. Okay. They should throw like freaking salutes like Elon Musk to trick him, like just to trick him.
I like the idea.
Yeah, basically that's it. After all, Russians already call us all Nazi, like British Nazi, French Nazi, Japanese Nazi, like we are all Nazis to the Russian world. So, what the hell? Like I don't know. But maybe it will like dilute him just a bit. Work for our, because several days ago when Miller from the White House was like talking all that bullshit about Greenland. I actually said, you know, guys, one of the best ways to literally deter United States, deter Trump from Greenland is actually install like dirty Russian flag somewhere, you know, in the open, so it's visible. So they would not even come closer, and better if, you know, like around that flag there would be that's the people in the commentaries actually advised that around that flag you should have plenty of those files from Epstein files, right, just scattered. And basically he will never even step, you know, on that territory. Maybe, I don't know.
That's a good plan. I like the Epstein files.
So I want to show the last piece of updates and news for today, because this is literally, my dear friends, this is the Russian cringe right there. So actually in Russia there are a lot of very, very popular drawings like that portraying, you know, like those Russian people. Literally that is like part of the Russian culture, okay? That is,
Russians are born to suffer in this tragedy of life, and
yeah, exactly. And there are quite a few like Russian artists portraying all that, you know. Literally, it was like that 200 years ago, and it is like that today, because we can actually see something very, very similar. Oh, Jesus. Like Nekrasov and Vladimirov, those famous Russian painters, if they were alive today, they would freaking cry. Because there on your screens, you can actually observe the Russian world as it is today. All right. That is literally, I don't know,
it's not 18th century. That's where Russia was going, 18th century, but I'd say right now they're back to 14th century, if anything.
I like the commentary from our dear viewers that I seen the other day, like what's in common between Putin and Peter the Great? They both want to bring Russia to the 18th century.
Oh, yes.
That's
a good one, I've heard.
Yeah, that one was good. Oh my god. My dear friends, so we have finished reviewing this one, which I completely enjoyed, but sorry, I gotta take a sip. What's the time there, by the way?
Right now it's 4:30 p.m.
Oh, nice. It means that I already live in the next day. Like this is how the time machine works, actually.
What time is it for you?
It's like almost 2 a.m. here.
Wow.
Yeah, but I've had like 5 liters of coffee, so I don't complain. Let's talk just a bit about the United States, because again, I can see a lot of those absolutely crazy updates, and to imagine even that at some point people wearing uniform will be literally stopping people on the streets, asking like people of different races, and asking their documents in 2024 even. That would be absolutely insane, but that's exactly what we're seeing nowadays. What's your opinion on all that, and generally how do you feel in the United States nowadays?
I am in California, so it does feel a little bit more freer here, since Trump's troops, like whatever, ICE left. Los Angeles. Um, it's I don't know. It's really scary actually, and since the government can now shoot you for um just I wouldn't say that woman Nicole Good, I wouldn't say she was even rude. She was just trying to get away. And then now they're saying, Trump is saying, yeah, if you're rude, um, yeah, they're fine. ICE is fine to shoot you. That's, I mean, this is top dictatorship. And I think Trump administration is cracking down, and they're doing this to instill fear in people. So, to keep order. Is that actually going to happen legally? I mean, I don't think they can do that. But at this point, we're living in a lawless society, so we have to be careful. And I, I don't know. I want to say know our rights, but again, lawless society. Um, I would suggest speak to your lawyer or immigration lawyer, to anyone who knows these things. So you do know your rights, but then again, I that's all what I can say about that.
Generally, how people react to such events on the streets, like when they literally arrest somebody and put them in the car, do people like support this or celebrate this, or people try to protect that person? What does it look like?
I mean, anybody with eyes and morality can see that the Trump administration is in the wrong. Like, I'm sorry if you're one of those people that think that are on the side of this ICE agent. You've become officially like a Russian citizen, because that's what in Russia. Don't believe your eyes, believe me, or believe us, the government. Like, that's insane. If you don't believe your own eyes, that's crazy. But I will say this, because Trump administration is doing this, this is gonna hurt them in the 2026 election, in the midterms. Because thank God there's more people with morals and eyes who believe their eyes. They don't like this. This is not where they want to see. Most Americans want to see their country go. So this is going to hurt the Trump administration and backfire on this. That is, of course, if we even get to having that election. But let's hope so. So.
What's your anticipation from the midterms?
I think there's gonna be a blue wave. There has to be. I mean, that's just, well, that's how it always goes. If the government goes right, usually there will be a blue wave in the midterms. And plus, there's a lot of people who are not liking what they're seeing. A lot of people have been lied to. Health insurance, a lot of people can't get food. Everything that they were promised, this golden age, is not what it amped up to be. I mean, when your lifestyle or your life is getting affected, which all Americans' lifestyle is getting affected, no matter who you are, you're gonna, feel these things and not want to vote for this next time, I would say. Otherwise, you're insane if you still support what the Trump administration is doing and just voting for them just because of some culture war. You don't want to go like having, I don't know, trans people going use your bathroom. Like, if you're still voting because of that, meanwhile not being able to afford food, you've got issues. I'm sorry, but you do. That you'd rather have some like revenge, some kind of weird revenge, than have better quality of life, to live better. So, and have health insurance or and stuff like that. But unfortunately, there's still people who'd rather see Trump revenge everyone on the left, and while living in not so great. And this reminds me of very much like Russia, how Russians live. So
Absolutely, absolutely. The main reason why Russians live such a shitty life is not only because Putin is currently burning all the money that Russians have instead of like building or repairing like their hospitals or whatever. Putin spends those money on literally killing Ukrainians, ramping up his war machine and stuff like that, because that is like the most important thing currently in Russia, you know. But generally speaking, when we, like, if you ask a common Russian person, like literally just spit somewhere in the crowd of Russian people on the Russian street and like ask this person, what do you think about whatever, Germans, British, like whoever, Canadians, I give you like 99.9% that that person will say like, fuck those British and Canadians and Germans, because who gave them right to live so well, right? Like, we're suffering this whole time, you know, since Tsarist time, we're suffering, we live in shit, and they are enjoying wealthy life. Like, no, it's not supposed to be like that. Everybody should live in shit and everybody should die. That is literally like Russian philosophy. Am I wrong?
no, you're absolutely right.
And I like the reason why I'm asking about the United States is, of course, because I'm worried for my friends. You are there, people I know are there. Andrew Mercado is there, and I'm worried for them on the first place. And I could not anticipate myself that in 2024 that such things will happen, and literally all that is absolutely freaking shocking. The Russian mentality, guys, when you want to literally keep living in bad conditions, but knowing that, you know, those guys were punished, you know, that actually makes you look like Russians. That is actually the Russian mentality. That is the Russianism itself. It's not like you not like you have to be a Russian national to be Russist. That's literally about mentality, about what's in your head and what's in your soul. That's just my opinion. My dear friends.
I always say, sorry, I always say that the Florida man reminds me of a Russian man. They're very similar. It's just the Russian man is cold, Florida man is warm. But
my God, the craziest headline I read was that Florida man promised his neighbors to kill them with kindness, and he killed them with his machete called kindness.
yeah. Do you know how many of those headlines there are? You can literally, there's like this whole, I don't know, game that you can search on the day that you were born, any day. And there's going to be a Florida man headline that's like the most insane. So like people would always play like whoever has the most insane Florida man headline wins.
I gotta try that. 100%. Yeah, but with that, my dear friends, first of all, I would like to say big thanks to all the members, all the moderators, and also all the people who subscribe to Slavie, because that's absolutely worth thing to do. Can you tell us just a bit about your Slaviecast or your channel? You're planning to invite more people for the interviews. Do you have any specific plans or maybe some names that you can share with us?
I'm not sharing names, but you're obviously one of them and will be the next one. But yes, it's Slavacast is a show. It's a video podcast, long form, produced entirely by me. But yeah, this is a project that I've been working on, quite trying to get it off for quite some time. Is guess you could say it's a dream project of mine. But yeah, it's a long form conversation. That's why I don't really like to shoot it doing a live stream. I like to do it properly. And yeah, this is going to be all about Ukraine, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and United States. Unfortunately, we do have to keep talking about United States and see what happens, because the world is absolutely insane, and that's why I have to start it now. We have to keep talking about it, and we have to keep talking about Ukraine, and we have to get in front of, as many eyeballs as possible. Because keep in mind, there's still a lot of Americans, Californians, that it's not like they don't care, they just don't watch the news. And I would say there's more of those people who just don't know than there are of people that support Ukraine or not support Ukraine. So that's really the sole purpose of Slavacast, is trying to get in front of people who just they don't know better. They don't watch the news. Maybe they do watch the news, just not about Ukraine. So yeah, that's the goal of it. That's the main purpose, and hopefully I'll have a Starsky next to make that happen and keep making these episodes. I can say this, there will be on Spotify as well, the video podcast, so that's exciting.
Sounds amazing. And we all wish you all the best. Hope that your idea, your Slavacast, will become insanely popular. I'm rooting for that 100%. And also I can see that a lot of our dear family and friends there in the chat are rooting for you as well. They say Slavie for the Queen of Greenland. Absolutely.
Can I say a couple of thank yous? Because people are, I guess, partying in the chat on my channel. So I want to say thank you so much to Papa Dutch for sending so many awesome super chats. You're truly amazing. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you to the mods who handled the transfer very much. I will say thank yous in the community post on my channel after the stream. And Starsky, thank you so much for having me. I was very excited for this, so thank you for inviting me. And hopefully I'll be back. And I'll see you on Slavacast as well.
Absolutely. We got to do it more. I support this idea. So, my dear friends and family, thank you so much. It was Slavie with us today, and it wasn't the last time, I promise. And hopefully you will also see my humble self on her channel as well very, very soon. Big thanks to everyone who supports Ukraine. Big thanks to all the members of my channel. Big thanks to everyone who stands with Ukrainian people fighting for democracy, freedom. And what I can say, my dear friends, have yourself something very, very good tonight. Treat yourself with something tasty. Slava, you too, right? Don't run away, please. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye, and Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.